Sorry. So it's good to just remember that you are your own chief advocate of your life, right? And it's important to just keep in mind that to let nobody throw you off of your course. Whatever you're doing, even if it's healing from traumas in your life, let nobody throw you off of your course of what you're supposed to do. And when it does happen, it's so easy for us to revert because of, as anybody knows, it takes a while for us when we're changing. It kills me. Aiden. Aiden. Shh. When we're changing, it takes all we need to do is make one change, right? And with that one change, if you make it a repeated habit to just keep going at it and keep perseverance, just keep persevering with the change, it then becomes a habit and a part of your normal character. Because it is so easy. How we're built is just not to necessarily think with our rational brain, but more so our what they call it, the Labrador, which is the more like reactional pop 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 type brain, just the one that just responds instead of the rational thinking. So I say to you, when you get there, just remember, anytime you're triggered and you want to go ahead and respond, whichever way you choose to respond. Like I said before, some people fight, some people run, some people freeze, some people even faint. Whichever one is your response, is great to just have a moment of self-reflection and self-awareness, because that's where change begins. Now that leads me into the next challenge for you. I want you to remember: stop, challenge, choose. I'm gonna say that again: stop, challenge, and choose. And that is a method that we have here at Optavia, but legit, it's just really good for your life. I do it at home with my kids all the time. Does it always work? We're a work in progress, but I tell you what, I have been implementing it pretty often, where now the kids are now doing it. So I say this to say that the children are watching you, so it's a good habit to just put into practice. So what does stop, challenge, and choose entails? It says you can choose to delay the immediate response from being triggered. To do this, we engage our thinking brain. Self-awareness, one of the most important habits of health that you will ever learn. Focus on your breathing. Focus on your breathing and the important use of meditation as a habit of health. It begins by becoming more aware of your body and detecting the signals coming from your unconsciousness as they rise to the surface. You will sense your breathing change, because that was one thing I had. I said, well, how do I know if I'm not conscious? If I'm not conscious of it, how do I pay attention to my unconscious? And it's so true that your body sends you signals. When you're irritated, when you're in a state of anxiety or nerves, your breathing is the first thing to change. So note, if your breathing is more labored, you're being triggered somewhere, somehow, okay? So it's good, and it's good to be aware. So it says, you will sense your breathing change, your heart rate increases, a lump will forming in your throat, and queasiness sitting in the pit of your stomach. These are all signals that should make you stop before saying or doing anything. So when you get that feeling, any of those feelings, you know, okay, something is happening here. Time for me to stop. You ever been in a conversation with somebody and you just find like getting irritated and your breathing starts to change. You get the lump in your throat. You get queasy in your stomach, or you just get that your stomach not sitting right. Just the nerves in the pit of your stomach. You know that you need to stop. Stop and analyze, right? Then you need to challenge yourself. What does that mean? So you first stop, right? And you sort and figure out, what am I feeling? When did I start feeling this way? What happened to make me feel this way? All right. Challenge by becoming. This is how you challenge. By becoming good at stopping, you are putting yourself in a position to know how to control your responses to a negative feeling or emotion. Once you have stopped the immediate response, there are some things you can do to cool off. It takes about 2 minutes for the emotion to pass. Did you know that? It doesn't matter if you're super excited, if you're anxious, if you're upset. If you give yourself a moment and you take a moment to identify what it is. Is it my ego that's being threatened? What is this negative feeling that I'm feeling? It takes about 2 minutes, for the emotions to pass once you recognize it. The next thing that you can do after that is drink a glass of water before talking, or take a deep breath before acting, because the water has a way of just cooling you down. It's very soothing, right? And then take a breath before acting. Then I can fully engage my rational brain. That's when your rational brain has time to kick in. Decide what action will move me forward into my health, my relationships, and my overall well-being. Triggers such as your immediate urge for sugar, chocolate, a salty snack, or another habit of disease. It's also like, hello, if you gotta all of a sudden need to eat like chips, you're being triggered. Something is going on. And then the last stop of the method is called choose, right? How do we choose? We choose by choosing the best outcome for us. What does that look like? Is it beneficial to me? Is it preserving of me? Is it helping me go towards my goal? Is it also preserving a relationship? Not one that's toxic. But if you know, for example, I don't know, grandpa that made you upset, it's not good to just spaz. You have to honor that relationship. Think and choose the most honoring thing. Simple. Well, not so simple at the time, but pretty much simple. So choose. This book is making you aware, teaching you the principal habits of health. Then it goes on to say, so that you may have a growing repertoire of better choices to make every circumstance. Like all other habit installations, using stop, challenge, and choose will take time and practice to learn and install. But over time, they will become automatic.